Hello, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, here today again with Lara Sowinski. Lara, I see you got the logoed shirt on this week, so I can't tease you about that. I have one of those myself, a blue one. So you're looking very professional. We'll say that.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for Tech Hub Live. We are literally days away for.
Yeah, and don't get ahead of us. that's
Well,
that's the looking forward part of the video. Let's look back a moment if we can. I know you and I have been doing a lot out and about, and of course one of the things that I was attending was the Corteva Field Day, which took place back on July 10th. That was in Johnston, Iowa, just across the street. Actually, they have this research farm right across the street from their main facility there in Johnston. So they gathered us folks from the media and a couple other guests, and they were talking all about what the company's plans are for here in 2025 and look forward a little bit to 2026. And two of the things they talked about are kind of new to the marketplace. One is a new fungicide called Forcevo.
Mm-hmm.
And here I have a short video clip from Mike Iberger, who is the U.S. marketing lead for Corteva, talking about the benefits of this fungicide and what it's going to mean for the marketplace.
How does that really complement all the other fungicides we've currently got within Corteva AgriScience? So as you can see, this really provides a solution for every acre for our customers on corn, soybeans, as well as wheat. So currently we have Approach, which is a single mode of action within our portfolio. We've also got Approach Prima as well as Viatude within soybeans, 2 mode of action. Forcevo brings that kind of holistic 3 mode of action, both a preventative, curative, and systemic fungicide, really for that complete control. So features and benefits, really kind of how this thing separates and stacks up across other fungicides within the market. Again, this is a novel 3 mode of action fungicide. That novel mode of action predominantly is the SDHI fluindapyr. It's a systemic, right, providing a little bit more higher focus on certain diseases for that longer lasting control. That longer lasting residual is truly a differentiating feature for us within this fungicide. So most fungicides on the market today offer up to at most 21 days of control. And with Forcevo fungicide, we really feel there's a differentiation here where we can achieve up to 30 days control with this particular product. And especially as you think through the corn crop behind me. From tassel to black layer, it's roughly a 60-day window to really try to maximize grain fill, maximize protection. And Forcevo fungicide with that 30-day control, realistically is covering about half of that gap compared to other fungicides within the market.
So that's what Mike had to say about Forcevo. And for those who are wondering, they're awaiting final regulatory approval on Forcevo, but anticipate it'll be able to be used for the 2026 growing season.
Great.
So one other thing that Corteva did talk about, they introduced this actually at the event. It's a new seed treatment. It's part of the Lumagen corn seed treatment package, and it's called Lumadapt Valta LS. And it's a biological, actually. I'm sure I'm going to read this here. It's from Brad Van Coten, market lead, Seed Applied Technologies for Pioneer Seed. He said that this is a seed treatment innovation that will help with seedlings to help them develop strong roots, and includes a variety of nutrients, including boron, sulfur, potassium, manganese, and cobalt. So again, and he pointed out those are all critical components, crop nutrients for the crops to have as they're developing in the ground. So, and again, they're expecting regulatory approval for this to come through in time for the 2026 growing season.
That's great. That's great. Those are nice timelines. Sooner than later.
Amen. Yeah, and which is nice because I know we've heard from folks talking about how hard approvals are these days.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Corteva, fingers crossed, will get approvals for both these new fungicide and new seed treatments coming up for next year's growing season. So
it's great. Good trip. Good news.
Yeah, so those were my adventures in Iowa. We'll talk more about Iowa in a little bit, but in the meantime, what do you got for our viewers this week?
Well, This is absolutely a smart tech news item. Smart tech being that interoperability, connectivity, AI powered, IoT supported um, initiative and content that are launching, that we launched in July here, and that we're covering pretty extensively. Smart tech, likewise, a prominent theme at Tech Hub Live. And for those of you who have not yet registered, you still have a couple more days. So techhublive.com, check it out. Really, really, again, I have to say, this is our 5th anniversary for Tech Hub Live, and being in the thick of things with my counterpart, Magda Gibson, our director of events. We've been on numerous prep calls with speakers and behind the scenes getting everything in place, and it's just such a strong program this year, like prior years. But really, again, it just the speed of technology and what's happening in ag tech and smart tech in particular, just makes way for just great content. And we have, again, great speakers. Check out the program online. Register if you haven't already. techhublive.com. So this news item, there was an update on this news that came out this week. So let me give you a little bit of background. Lisa Dyer, who is the executive director of the GPS Innovation Alliance, wrote an opinion piece, which was published in AgriPulse in May. She was talking about supporting technology and the technology that's needed by farmers. She wrote that the payoffs for extending broadband and further integrating advanced technology into farms of all sizes can be tremendous, both for farmers and America. She writes that America's farmers are the most technologically advanced in the world, while the world's leading precision ag innovations, ranging from AI to global positioning system, weather and broadband, satellites and data, cloud computing, Internet of Things and telematics, to remote sensing and advanced mapping technologies, have been in use for years. Their potential to deliver incremental value to farmers and consumers is only beginning to be realized, however. She said that part of the reason is procurement of such technologies requires sizable upfront capital investment, particularly for small and medium-sized farms. She says that farmers shouldn't be relegated to using dial-up, which she said is the equivalent of an oxen plow, which I thought was funny. She also wrote in this opinion piece that the Government Accountability Office, citing 2023 USDA reporting, indicates that only 27% of U.S. farms or ranches use precision ag technologies. And she says, farmers first use GPS, auto guidance system, uh, and more recent advancements in GPS based technologies now allow farmers to till, plant, harvest, and spray with centimeters level accuracy. So, in this May opinion piece, she urged the passing of 4 bipartisan bills focused on delivering rural broadband and precision ag technologies to America's farmers. So these 4 bills are the Linking Access to Spur Technology for Agriculture Connectivity in Rural Environments. I know that's a mouthful, but the acronym LAST ACRE. The second one was the Precision Ag Loan Act. Thirdly, the Producing Responsible Energy and Conservation Incentives and Solutions for the Environment, or PRECISE Act, and the Promoting Precision Agriculture Act. So just this week, a July 17th press release indicated that, and this was a quote from Lisa Dyer, again, executive director of the GPS Innovation Alliance. She said, "We applaud the House's bipartisan passage of the Precision Agriculture Satellite Connectivity Act. This bill is a critical step toward closing the digital divide and enabling more farmers to integrate cutting edge technologies that rely on GPS, satellite connectivity, and broadband infrastructure." America's farmers are already leading the world in the use of advanced technologies. But again, insufficient connectivity is that barrier. So this was great. This is a great development. Again, this is exactly what we're talking about at Meister with smart tech. Really realizing that true ecosystem that is connected, that's devices play nicely with one another, truly connected, interoperable. And in addition to that one stat, which I thought was crazy, whereby basically only what was it, 27% of farmers are using ag tech. And again, this was from May. I'd like to see how this correlates with our Purdue survey, see where that stands. But also another article, because once I start looking at this thing, it's like, well, what about this? What about? So I found an article from last August 24, from the National Association of Farm Broadcasting. They say that there are still a surprising number of producers, which they say is about 21.3%, who don't even have access to the internet. So, again, it's kind of a good reminder for us as well on the media side that, we're talking about smart tech and softwares and hardwares and all this stuff. But when you look at what underpins the ability for all this stuff to work, it's this rural broadband, it's the infrastructure, it's access to the internet. So, anyway, some great news on that front. Again, I just want to say this is exactly why, first of all, get out there and support your lawmakers that are, and again, this is a bipartisan bill. Who doesn't want rural broadband, right? For every person, every farmer, kind of things. Good news there, but this is exactly where we need to have these things come into place to support all the smart tech and really bring this connected ag ecosystem to the fore. So was super excited, really timely thing. So, I had to put on my Crop Life shirt to get ready for Tech Hub Live to, deliver this good news and expand upon it, of course, next week when we're all together in Des Moines.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you mentioned the Purdue survey. I know, that appears in the July edition of CropLife Magazine, which is out now. But I know that, our friend Bruce Erickson, who will actually be a speaker at Tech Hub Live, talking a little bit about the survey. But I remember him in the story mentioning that, the adoption rates are still a little behind the curve based on, the available internet data and buzz out there.
And the cost.
It sounded like based on that they expected the survey adoption rate numbers to be higher than they ended up being. But again, I remember him citing, the tough economic environment we're in right now when it comes to agriculture as sort of a detriment to more adoption happening. So again, maybe this will be something unique to 2025, and as connectivity improves, that as we go into next year, we'll see some exponential growth. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyhow, and the last thing we'll talk about before we dive into the end, of course, next week is Tech Hub Live, the 5th anniversary already. It's hard to believe. I remember being at the first Tech Hub in Des Moines, and it was a sight to behold. It was a lot of technology all in one place, talking about technology on display. And I know this year's event will be more of the same. I know, having done plenty of prep calls with our speakers and people we're going to be interviewing when we do our fireside chats, the topics of conversation are going to be varied and incredibly interesting. I hope everyone finds it insightful. And of course, the most scary part, I think you and I are going to embark on a potentially new adventure. We are actually going to be recording, not going to be broadcasting live, but we're going to be recording live on the floor of the Tech Hub Live event, our retail week for next week. So hopefully, technical issues and crowd noise aside, it'll be insightful, and we'll have one special guest I'm aware of, and then maybe we'll grab a few people off the street or do some talking with people who were walking around the event to get their opinions. But we will find out how a live on-site podcast / video actually works. So this ought to be real interesting.
We're going to have one of those microphones with that big fur ball on it, and, have big headphones on our heads, and earphones, headphones.
The on-the-air flashing light, which I think one of our editors brought up, we do need to bring with us. But no, hopefully little activity will not be a bad thing, but we will see. I know that's why I have a videographer who is great at splicing together segments so it's seamless and he won't even know where there was an interruption or somebody spilled their coffee on their shirt. So
that's always the best part. Our teammate Tyler behind the scenes, who makes everything perfect.
Saluting our teammate Tyler for
Absolutely.
all he does. So. All right, Miss Laura. Well, we're at the end of the broadcast this week, so it is time for your favorite segment of the show that you're doing pretty good at lately. Time for Fun with Numbers.
I love how you say you're doing pretty good, because I got, 2 in a row or so?
I think you have a 2-week winning streak, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
And I see right behind you over in the corner, I see Lucky coming to give you the barking signals of which number to pick. So
if only she can give me the answers.
2 squeaks is A, 3 squeaks is B on her squeaky toy. So.
Oh, goodness.
All right. So, Miss Laura, your number this week, it's an amount.
Okay.
50 million bushels.
50 million bushels. All right.
Correct. So, Miss Laura, is 50 million bushels, is that A, the projected increase in soybeans for 2025-26? Is it B, the projected decrease in corn for 2025-26? Is it C, the projected decrease in wheat for 2025-26? Or is it D, the projected increase in pairs of shoes Laura will need for Tech Hub Live?
Oh, goodness.
I can't even imagine what the baggage fee would be on 50 million bushels.
Well, I have to say, the older I get, the more judicious I become when I'm packing. I'm trying to, do the carry-on. So it's like, what can I wear with what shoes can get me through every day? So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how successful I am.
Yeah. So basically your options are soybean, corn, or wheat.
So A was the increase or decrease in soybean?
A was an increase.
Oh, increase.
Corn and wheat were both decreases.
I'm going to actually go with A.
You have a 3-week winning streak. Yes, that is the correct answer. Yeah, this comes from USDA. They were talking a little bit about the projections for all the crops. But what stood out for me was what they said about soybean, in particular soybean crush for 2025-26. Is expected to increase by 50 million bushels to 2.54 billion bushels total. And the reason for that, of course, higher demand for soybean oil for biofuel usage. So, we've been talking about renewable diesel and how it seems like demand for that is increasing. And they pointed out that the increase in demand is not only domestic, but we're also exporting quite a bit of that as well. So that is what is spurring the increase in soybean bushels for this year, next year for that crop.
Yeah, I saw a couple news items on that as well. That's great. Good news there. Yay.
Yep.
3 in a row.
Amen. Okay, good job. Good job. All right. Well, Miss Laura, that's all we have for our viewers this week. If you join us next week at Tech Hub Live in Des Moines, Iowa on the 21st through the 23rd of July, look for Laura and I on the show floor, like I said, recording. And if not there, at least stop by and say hi to us. We'd appreciate it. And in the meantime, we will see you again soon. Thank you. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.